All right, welcome to River Talk. Today is April 5th, and unfortunately we are missing Nicholas right now, but we still have Ashley, myself, Colin, and Trey, and today's big, juicy subject, as we all know, is Russia. And, you know, the Trump administration's ties, his associates, former transition team.
Alleged ties.
You know, alleged, whatever you might want to call it, sure. But, so, first of all, this all started about 8 months ago during the campaigns when he expressed that it would be good if Russia and the United States had better relations. You know, I mean, you know, we're two world superpowers, right? It makes sense to have good relations with each other, right? And so,
given the history.
yeah, you know, we don't have the best history with Russia. You know, the whole Cold War ending about 20 years ago. You know, so so people have been throwing around that Putin and Trump have some sort of relationship going on there, you know, between the Kremlin, White House now. So first of all, it really started to take light after the election. People were like, oh, well, you know, Russia meddled in our elections, tampered with votes, you know, blah, 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 you know.
Which is when Jill Stein called for a recount.
Yeah.
Gave Trump a couple more votes, but so
Yeah,
shout
you
out
know.
to Jill for that one.
Right. So, when I first heard that, I didn't believe that Russia actually tampered with our votes at all. Like, no, that's stupid to assume that in my book anyway. But
Oh, mine too.
the thing is, people were throwing around that the Kremlin wanted Trump to win. Now, first of all, let's just go and see. You know, what do you think of that? Do you think that there was maybe some pro-Russian, be it media or agents, if you will, that were trying to help Trump get elected?
Well, more than likely, Hillary Clinton took a very hardline approach to Russia. She wanted to intervene more heavily in Syria, which, I mean, like them or not, the Assad regime is backed by the Russian government. So if we were to take any steps against the Assad regime, we're going to be going up against Russia too, which, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but a little war weary at the moment, and getting bogged down in another conflict in Syria, potentially involving Russia, just doesn't seem like a bright idea.
Actually, another story came out of Syria this morning. Roughly 60 people got killed in a chemical attack. I'm not sure
it's
which
disgusting.
side did that. I mean, I read it this morning, but you know.
I mean, that's disgusting, but
Well, we had a short little intermission there. So you were talking about Syria and the chemical warfare situation there. Was there anything else you'd like to discuss about that, the situation in Syria? And,
I get
the idea of our involvement to maybe somehow stabilize. You know, I can agree with getting rid of Assad. That's just going to cause another power vacuum. I will agree with that. You know, so just I guess you have anything else to continue with?
I think our main concerns for American involvement in Syria should, I mean, unless we get like a UN mandate and we have like a massive coalition backing us up, which even then I'm still a little weary because, like I said, a lot of people are just sick of war. But the two most immediate threats to us in Syria are the Islamic State and the Al-Nusra Front and other Al-Qaeda affiliates there, which are also going up against Russia. So it might be an area of compromise where we can at least start building a relationship that's a little different than the one we've had since the end of World War II.
Okay.
That's how I look at it.
All right. So a lot of the things people have been throwing around that, you know, what does Russia want to gain with Trump being president, right? So they wanted us to be out of the region in Syria, obviously. You know, they have a regime that they're backing, you know, they have interests there, they have a naval base there, stuff like that. So, you know, staying out of Syria, maybe even staying out of the Middle East entirely, it depends, you know, what they're looking for. Also, with the situation with Michael Flynn, talking with the U.S. ambassador to the United States.
The Russian ambassador.
Sorry, I always get those, I always say that back, but, so, talking with him behind closed scene, lying to the vice president about it, you know, talking about the sanctions that we put on there, on Russia. So, do you think that, he wasn't even in the position yet, right? So Michael Flynn wasn't in the position yet, officially anyway, and do you think he should have done that behind, you know, everyone's back and just saying, hey, you know, well, here, let's talk about them sanctions for a second?
Well, I mean, I think if he did, he should have at least, you know, told people or, you know, gotten approval beforehand. I think the way he went about it was kind of shady, but ultimately these aren't the discussions we need to have with foreign governments. Whether or not anything becomes of them, they're
especially with Flynn, you know, he's he's got people giving him money from Turkey, I think, and there's some arguments that he's also getting paid from either via bank or maybe even the Kremlin in Russia. It's these ties that really bring into question a lot of the officials that are part of the Trump administration, right? So first of all, do you think that those ties that he had with Russia or Turkey are actually real, I guess? Like, what are your thoughts on that? With him being put in a position of power in the U.S. government and having ties to these governments or organizations within the government, those governments?
Well, I mean, it's pretty much, it was proven that he had ties to Turkey, right?
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I think that's irrelevant because they're a member of NATO, so I mean, they're an ally by treaty, so. Yeah.
But whether or not Flynn actually was in cahoots with somebody in the Russian government is kind of irrelevant to the whole situation. The matter of the fact is, once the Trump team figured out that there was even a threat of possibility, they kicked him to the curb, which I think is a good move on their part, trying to clear their own name.
Sure. I don't think before the sanctions we put in under Obama kicked in, ExxonMobil was having a deal with Russia for $500 billion with ExxonMobil. And with the sanctions in place, they could no longer have that because foreign government now would put sanctions on them, they'd not be restricted on their banks and stuff. So do you think that maybe they'd be, the associates they meet with from the U.S., do you think that the discussions for removing sanctions would maybe want to have these contracts being put forth, having these almost $500 billion contracts and stuff with their governments to fix their economy, stuff like that? Like, that's one of the main goals, right, is to lift sanctions, I believe, with the new president, right?
I would love that.
Right, so they had to deal with ExxonMobil. They got cut off immediately after the sanctions got in place, and so they want to get these sanctions lifted. And they were actually, what's his name? Eric Prince, yeah.
The founder of Blackwater?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard this, I'm going to explain this really badly, I'm sorry, but there's a story I read this morning from the Washington Post about Eric Prince meeting with officials from Russia in the United Arab Emirates in some island I can't pronounce. And
Seychelles.
what is it?
Seychelles.
Seychelles Islands?
Yeah, I've only ever seen it written, but I'm pretty sure that's how
Yeah, I don't want to butcher them, but yeah, so they met there and they started discussing. He's also, do you know what the company he's tied to? He was in the United States. Yeah, Blackwater's, that's the company. Okay, so Eric Prince was in the United States for a while, and then he was getting investigated. Then he left the United States, went to the United Arab Emirates, and started his new company. I think it's, what do you say, it was Z?
Z.
So it got renamed to Z now, and now he goes to these islands, he meets with Russian officials and as well the United Arab Emirates and start talking about, lifting these sanctions because, he's there to represent Trump's interests and probably his own interests too. I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a discussion that was based around trying to find ways to make each side have gains, right? It's not clear what Donald Trump was hoping to get out of this. It's not clear what, the United Arab Emirates wanted to get out of this, but, there was talks about possibly lifting the sanctions, and then, funny thing is, Eric Prince is also the brother of Betsy DeVos.
Mm-hmm.
Coincidence there, that she got the cabinet position, right? So, this is, I'm sorry, this is a very complicated story. It's really hard to explain.
And also, you lost me once you said Washington Post, or Comp Post, whichever you prefer.
So what's next on the agenda? Let's move on from any of that.
With regards to that, I just think you need more information before,
Yeah,
more information before you delve into that.
Yeah. Okay, so.
So have you seen this, that ESPN now has officially stated that they're going to acknowledge their political biases and things like that, that they're no longer a sports cast, that it's also integrating with politics. Have you guys seen this?
I don't know.
This drives me nuts. Okay, so first off, they've been doing it for a couple years now, right? But now they're just admitting it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they've had a couple people fired dismissed and I think like even publicly, reprimanded or whatever, saying you believe X, Y, and Z, therefore you're fired, right? Which is absurd given the nature of what they talk about a lot on ESPN. And it drives me nuts to see media outlets that aren't particularly news or politics oriented talking about politics and news. I mean, I'm not saying that they can't. I'm just saying, like if I'm an ESPN fan, I don't want to turn on and see the exact same conversation I saw on whatever news network. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's why ESPN has seen a huge loss in viewers and subscribers, because they're completely alienating half of their viewers.
Well,
so.
it's the same thing with like your what's his name, John Oliver's and
Your late night
Trevor Noah's and your late night TV shows that have gone from being legitimate. I mean, I never thought Samantha Bee was funny, but like Trevor Noah used to be okay, and like Colbert used to be pretty funny. But now that it's all just the same bashing Trump thing back and forth, it's just unwatchable.
I mean, when I watched Colbert back when he was on Comedy Central, I thought he was pretty funny. I thought he was even-handed when it came to both sides. Now he's just blatantly an anti-Trump mouthpiece.
Right, which is no different from what every single other outlet is saying, which is incredibly infuriating.
Mm-hmm.
What are your guys' thoughts on Steve Bannon getting kicked off the Security Council?
I'm okay with it. He was in a made-up position, and I personally think the guy is a bully. But the idea, largely from the left, that he's this big white supremacist anti-Semite, I don't buy that.
When he's hired multiple gays and Jews to work at Breitbart.
I don't buy that for 1 second, but I do think he is a bully in a professional sense.
And I just think it's a distraction. I think it's ultimately irrelevant.
Ashley, any thoughts?
Can we just come through a second?
Really?
Welcome back. We had a short break there, just so we can collect ourselves, try to figure out, where we're trying to go with this. So, first of all, with all these things coming up about Russia, right? So, what do you think would be the worst case? Your Trump supporters, what would you think would be the worst case scenario? Like, what do you think would be probably something they might find, or what would be the worst case scenario for if Trump was found, with ties to Russia in some way, shape, or form?
Well, the worst case for me has already, I don't remember if it was Comey or a member of the National Security Council, but the worst case for me would have been if they would have actively changed votes. I think that would have been an absolute disaster in every definition of the word. But
What do you mean change votes?
like if they had hacked election machines
Okay.
Committed voter fraud.
Yeah, like change voter total.
Sorry, I misunderstood what you were saying.
No problem. I don't remember, like I said, I don't remember if it was Mike Rogers or James Comey who said that didn't happen. So the worst case just didn't happen for sure. The other thing that would at least make me a little uneasy is if they were in direct contact with the Russian government on certain policy stances. Because while I agree that we should soften our relationship with Russia, because I don't believe in having an eternal enemy, it would kind of make me rethink things a little bit if Donald Trump had only pursued that policy because the Russian government told him to, things like that.
I mean, you mentioned influencing policy, maybe, what if, sanctions, got mysteriously, revoked, and that maybe us getting out of Syria, the Middle East, is also another policy decision that might have been influenced by the Kremlin, stuff like that you gotta think about, you never know. There's no information yet that proves that, but, just think about it.
If it were to happen, that would give me some pause.
Absolutely.
Right, but here's the other thing that I don't think many people are talking about. Say all of the accusations against the Trump team are absolutely 100% true. He's caught elbow deep in the cookie jar. What does that actually mean? What's the outcome of that?
That's the question, because if it is all true, then what do we do?
Is that grounds for ousting or not? I don't think so.
And then you have to
I
worry about
think
Mike
so.
Pence and if he has any connections.
from the constitutional standpoint.
I know, but I think if we find out that, all of it is true, which implies that, the Russians actually did mess with the election, then, and the Trump team knew, then I think the entire election becomes void. What do you do though?
Because it's completely unprecedented.
Yeah, who comes into office? This isn't something that we've
Never.
had.
Right.
but you can't really,
Yeah, it's really interesting to think about a foreign government influencing our president, maybe politicians that, side with
Yeah,
him.
it's
It's
not
just,
like America's ever had anything to do in other nations. That's just unheard of.
I know, but it's like,
Augusto
we're so, fine with doing it to other people, but when it happens to us,
Well,
we don't know what's
okay,
gonna happen.
well, let me stop you there. We're not the people that are making six figures and working stiff suits in
My
closed
boss.
doors boardroom meeting. They're okay with it. I don't think the vast majority of Americans would be okay with it.
Yeah.
Well, we're supposed to be the ones that mess with people. We're not supposed to have people mess with us,
Mhm. Yeah, long history of that. If you ever want to learn about us meddling with the world, just take U.S. history, you'll be fine. So, how do you think the government would go about doing this? I mean, worst case scenario, obviously. Or what do you think would be like a best case scenario for Donald Trump in this situation? Because these allegations, it seems like a new allegation from either a former member, current member,
Or an anonymous source.
or anonymous sources, right?
Thank you, CNN.
So, there seems to be a new allegation every week, and then,
Right.
if these are just allegations that are being made by, maybe the media or, their sources, just think about, what the FBI is looking at,
So like best case scenario, let's say none of these allegations have any evidence whatsoever to back them up. FBI doesn't find anything. Let's even say that Trump stops tweeting for a little while. It's only going to get better from here. I mean, think about how many times, and he's only been in office for like 3 months now, and how many times the media has come, like the Rachel Maddow thing with the taxes, and it turned out flat. That only boosts Trump's ratings.
Mhm.
I hate to call them ratings, but the ratings. You know what I mean? Like, if these turn out to be completely baseless, which for the most part they have so far, it's only going to look better for Trump.
but even if they turn out to be completely baseless, you're gonna have people who still believe it.
Right.
That's like anything on the internet.
Yeah,
You
what
can
about
post
the,
anything
like,
you want.
Like the
Percentage
people who
of-
believed Obama is Kenyan or a Muslim or whatever
Yeah,
it
you're gonna have
is.
people who believe it regardless of
Right.
whether it's proven true or not.
Our side's got our dignity.
Right, but again, that's not I don't think that's the majority of people.
Yeah, and I mean, if a bunch of left-wing zealots keep believing that, then fine by me. They can just keep losing elections.
What with the allegations, there's, do you remember what percentage you said it was like, if, the allegation was found to be true, like this percentage of Trump voters they wouldn't be bothered by it? Was it like 30%? I don't know.
I
A
don't know.
percentage.
It wasn't.
Just like, what do
it
you-
wasn't more than half.
Yeah. But I mean, just think about that, like we have a president that's, that could be influenced by a foreign nation, they're not bothered by it, it's just,
Well, any president could be influenced by a foreign nation.
Yeah.
no, but like, maybe they might be indirectly, but I mean, in our situation could be both direct and indirectly. We just don't know, like, there's so much information being tossed up in the air that we don't know which paper to grab, right, that's gonna have, the correct stuff on it, right? It's just, I mean, what it's going to come down to, I guess, just what the FBI just
The
intelligence.
world's most competent worker, James Comey. I mean,
Oh,
Or the
okay.
Senate, because I mean, at least their investigation seems to be somewhat organized.
Mhm.
I mean, their leadership isn't having a massive cat fight, so,
Mhm.
like the House. And they're also not run by an incompetent buffoon named James Comey, so.
gosh,
What's your- I'm just curious what your beef is with James Comey.
He's just.
Well, actually, really, it's not so much James Comey as much as it is the reaction that people have around him. I mean, I don't really think he's that incompetent of a worker. I just think it's amazing how quickly the Democrats can go from loving him to hating him, and the Republicans can go from hating him to loving him in like a week. With the Hillary investigation, we found nothing. Blah 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 blah. Democrats love Comey.
But wait,
He's the greatest.
a week before the election, we're going to reopen the
Yeah,
case.
exactly.
He shouldn't have opened his mouth, because then like 2 days later, he said, oh yeah, there's nothing.
Yeah, it's like,
I just think that's what makes him incompetent. Making statements when he really has no reason to.
I mean, we're probably going to be, unfortunately, hearing about allegations for a while now.
Oh, more than likely.
well, yeah. it's-
Jake Tapper's all over it.
I'm sure. So we'll keep you updated on that. We hope you have a nice day, guys. Thanks for watching.